This is a story of how I made money coming right out of the recession. Now, I was broke, busted, disgusted. You hear me say that a lot. And I just say that a lot because the videographer behind this camera, he just thinks it's funny. But here's the thing. I was broke, busted, and disgusted after 7 years of doing real estate. My first 2 years, I had built up 20 properties and rental homes, and I was flipping about 10 to 15 homes a year. I was the number one real estate agent for the brokers I used to work for. And then the market tightened, and the banks were pushing me back a little bit. They wouldn't renew my notes. They were scared. The permanent mortgage financiers would not refinance a self-employed sole proprietor that was flipping real estate circa 2008. Because let's face it, the world was crashing in 2008, financially and in real estate. And they just were scared. So I had no, I just could not do anything to work with them. They would not work out owner financing. They would not work out, allowing me to rent out the house for a little while and give me like a two-year extension. So I was pushed out by scared banks, but a lot of it was because I was not studying the market. Like, to me, because I was naive and ignorant to the surrounding economic climate, I did see some signs of shrinkage, but it was forecasted previous years before. And I got to the point where I just didn't pay attention. I was addicted to making money. And, not that I was doing anything wrong with it, or not that anything was wrong with it, but I wasn't paying attention to external circumstances that was going on in the economic climate, especially with real estate. And I was in real estate, which is, a very necessary field to be watching the news in the economic climate and real estate state. You need to keep on board with watching what's going on, because it can wipe you out if you over leverage and things like I did back in the day. Well, flash forward a year after the recession, I had already lost everything, went bankrupt, homeless, had a rent from a friend, and then I started my own brokerage. I advertised myself as a foreclosure REO agent, and I would get a lot of pocket listings. One set of pocket listings was 25 townhomes, an hour outside of Atlanta in a suburb, and these townhomes came in at this ultra low price. And I was an opportunist. I saw something that was there that changed everything I knew about finances, because at this time I didn't want to be in sales really. All I knew was real estate, so I forced myself to be in sales, but I really wanted out. I completely wanted out of real estate, but there again, all I knew was real estate. I wanted out. My tail was between my legs, and I wanted to give up. But the key is I didn't. So I saw this opportunity, and the bank wanted like $18,000 a unit for 25 townhomes. So I saw this opportunity. I called a friend up. I said, look, why don't we see if we can take this old LLC we had together and contract these properties and see if we can get them at a much lower price. So he agreed, and we put the offer in, and we bought them up at like, this was 2008, so prices were really, really low. These homes are probably worth over $100,000 now. We picked these properties up for $12,000 per unit. Well, we realized we had an opportunity, and we had to seize the day. So what did we do? We went to go seize the day. We called everybody in our network, his network, my network, and set up showing after showing after showing on these homes. We had a due diligence in the contract, and we allowed ourselves to be completely protected and to back out if for some reason we could not perform. Here's the problem. Here's the dilemma. We had to put $5,000 in non-refundable earnest money up, but I was broke, he was broke. We're just coming out of the recession. We didn't have any money, didn't have a pot to piss up. So how did we overcome this? Well, we had 20 people wanting those 25 homes. A few of them bought a couple, and then others bought individual units. And we made a requirement of each individual unit to have $1,000 in non-refundable earnest money. So we recouped that earnest money, $25,000 worth. We paid our $5,000 earnest money out of that. And we knew, worst case scenario, we had $20,000 in non-refundable earnest money that we could split. So my partner would get $10,000, I would get $10,000 if the crap hit the fan and this thing fell to pieces. In the next week, everybody had got to the closing table, and it was amazing. We had an amazing thing happen where we cashed out big, but we did have one more problem to get there. Now, we had to figure out how to come up with the money because there was no lending back then. We couldn't find hard money lenders. We had no cash, no capital. We didn't even have a private capital company at that point. So how do we overcome the financial obligation of producing the money and procure it to transact the properties? Well, we contacted an attorney and we said, look, can you allow these investors to wire their money in the day before closing? We set up a double closing, have them come in and sign off on their properties, and then utilize that money that they wire in after they sign, and they're legally obligated to the contract and to owning the property, and then pay off the purchase of the properties where we had them under contract. So we did like a backwards transaction all on the same day, and we lined it up perfectly. Everybody came in, they signed, and they paid off the money to the bank, and we got to keep the difference. They got the keys, we got to keep the difference, and we made well over, I want to say something like $120,000. I think we sold these properties for like $18,000 to $20,000 each, and this is not illegal. This is a double back-to-back closing. Now, some attorneys will not allow it, but some attorneys will. Some attorneys want to see the flow of money come in and out of their books properly with the right timing, but some attorneys will allow this. And we sought out the one attorney that we found in our area that would allow this, and we pocketed big. And we did this over and over and over and over again for the next 2 years. And we made a great living doing this. And in that process, it opened doors to investors that wanted to do business with us because we were known to be the guys that had access to the properties where nobody else had them, because we didn't give up. So the moral of the story is to go out there, first and foremost, all hard work leads to profit if you don't give up. So I want to encourage you guys today, don't give up, go forth and prosper, put your hands to something, be creative, find the right mentors, find the right network of people that can help you achieve the unachievable and then be successful. Thank you guys.